Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch joining us for our weekly City Hall updates on this remote conversation again, Mayor. Great to talk to you. Thanks for checking in this morning.
Yeah, no problem. Good to hear your voice, Joe.
Likewise. Hopefully we'll be able to do it in person again real soon.
That would be nice. It really would be nice. It just, this whole thing is really surreal, bizarre. And in my business and my world, I mean, it's a people business. And, I'm used to seeing a lot of people each and every day. And this is really just strange. It's getting very old. And I don't mean to minimize the impact it's had on people. But it's just so out of whack and not normal. But I understand why we need to do it, and we need to continue to do it until it's safe.
Yeah, we're obviously waiting for the governor's statements, I guess, on when things can start to be phased in. Are you kind of waiting on his guidance as well in the city?
Well, we've had conversations. I spoke to the lieutenant governor the other day, and she was asking me my thoughts on ramping up again and how to reopen and how to phase it. I had a meeting Friday. I guess it's a Zoom meeting. Somebody referred to it as Hollywood Square, so all the pictures are up on the screen. It's kind of got a kick out of. But I was, speaking to a number of business folks, from small businesses to large businesses, from retailer to construction type companies, and asking them their thoughts. And it was interesting, the response. There was some that just wanted to get right back to work and let's get going. The economy's going to be struggling as it is. We don't want to kill the economy completely. Others were concerned. You had a barbershop owner who said, I don't know what to do. I mean, there's no way customers can wear masks while we're cutting their hair,
Yeah.
So they're looking for some guidance really going forward. Another couple of retailers indicated that the unemployment plus the $600 was an incentive for people not to rush back. So when he was polling his employees, he said, why should we hurry back? Why should we put ourselves in danger? We're making as much money as we were. So there's a lot of factors here, and I don't know if there's a right or wrong. I guess if we open too soon and the virus comes back, that's clearly a wrong.
Right.
But on how we get there, I'm not sure is a right or wrong. I know we're going to continue to have discussions and meetings with my colleagues, both locally as well as at the state level. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and we've heard the Boston mayor say he's doubtful that public schools in Boston will return for the year. What are the thoughts in Quincy?
I think that's probably a good guess, but it wouldn't shock me if we went right after Memorial Day for a couple of weeks to wrap it up. Then the question is that worth it?
Mm-hmm.
But these are the discussions we're having. I asked my superintendent about that to get back to me from his team what their thoughts are in that regard. I mean, it's the governor's call in the end. If he tells us we're not opening schools, we're not opening schools. Because young people have not been really affected by this, but they carry germs. So,
Right.
they're big transmitters of it to parents and grandparents and others. So that was kind of the thinking on the school, because even there's part of it on, when they're not so much susceptible to it, why not have kept them in school learning every day? But petri dishes and there's that whole aspect of it. So I don't know. Let's see what happens. I know that the May 4th date's coming up, and he doesn't wait till the last minute to make a decision. So I'm sure we'll get some good notice and guidance on it.
Sure. It's interesting and it's unprecedented. So there's really no playbook to go by, as to what to do. It's writing it as you go.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing that I remind people of, I know some parents get a little antsy about their little Johnny or Susie and their education. Everybody's in the same boat, not only in Massachusetts, but across the country and across the world. So It's not like Quincy is on hold and everybody else is charging forward in the educational world. That's not happening. We're all in this together. We're all in the same boat. So,
yeah.
That shouldn't be so much of an issue. This was all about really public health and safety, truly life and death, trying to save lives here. So I think that certainly trumps little Johnny's, potential in this year's his studies, So, I mean, not to minimize it. That's all very, very important. But, in this time, we've seen the priority of importance and what we need to do. And it is, as you said, it's all new. There's no playbook for this. I mean, we're going to learn an awful lot from this as well going forward. That's for sure, in so many different aspects. But in the meantime, we continue to play it a day at a time.
What is the current situation and the folks that are being impacted, particularly the nursing homes in the city? I know that's been a very worrisome concern.
It is tough, and that's happened, again, not only here, but all over the place. It seems to be if the virus gets into one of those homes, it's very difficult to contain. So, we had McGrath Highway was the one most affected, and we've seen a number of deaths at that location, which is very sad. And the whole circumstance on how these people are dying without their loved ones by their side and not being able to see them. And it's tough stuff. It's heart-wrenching when you really think about it, it's easy to get insulated from that part of it, just looking at the stats and the stats and the stats every day. But, behind those stats, there's a person, there's a story, there's a family, there's loved ones. And, we can't forget that either. Understanding why we need to do what we need to do so we continue to prevent it from being spread. But tough stuff, really is tough stuff.
Since last we talked, Mayor, there's been a suggestion, well, actually an order to wear face coverings out in public. What was the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, Ruth Jones, who's our Commissioner of Public Health, you know her well, Joe. She's very talented. She's very sharp, and she's been in tune on every part of this health-wise from day one. And she speaks frequently with DPH and her colleagues, and she felt strongly that we should go in this direction at this point. And I took her at her word, and so we agreed and put the order out. Again, it's you're walking out and about and there's nobody around you, that's one thing. But if you're going on public transportation or you go in the supermarket to shop and you can't keep necessarily that 6 foot social distancing, that's what the mask thing is all about. So, we're encouraging people to do it, and hopefully that'll help flatten this curve.
Is that for city employees also?
Well, it certainly would be if they're in a circumstance like that. We've got plumbers, electricians working in empty school buildings. There's nobody around them. So it's, not so much an issue. But, our police and firemen wearing them anyway when they go to scenes. So that makes sense. City Hall, we've got, as we're not open to the public, so we don't have that issue right now. But, so it's just another additional measure to help, hopefully help, so we can get through this faster.
Yeah. Are you finding that folks are pretty much adhering to the guidelines in the city in terms of keeping distance out in public?
I think overall they are. I think there's some people that perhaps don't pay attention. But I've been out and about and walking and driving, and there's not a lot of activity out there. So people finally, I think, heeded the advice. The first couple of weeks there, we were having trouble with people in parks,
right,
playing games and stuff. We don't see that so much. So, I see people walking. I see people walking with masks. I see people walking without masks, and that's okay. It's really the issue of if you're in proximity with larger gatherings of people at a market or public transportation. That's where it makes most sense to wear that mask.
Sure. There are 2 rental assistance programs going on through QCAP and the Quincy Chamber. How are those going there?
They're going very well. I know that I think we probably exceeded 300 people at this point. I haven't looked at the numbers in a few days, but it's gone very well, and I think that was good use of the money. Again, I thank the Affordable Housing Trust Committee and Tom Fabrizio's work, of course, Tim Cahill with the Chamber, and Beth Ann Stroller with the QCAP for the great work them and their staff are doing. It seemed to work very well, and helping people keep their household together. It's the issue would be a lot worse if we have hundreds more, with no place to live.
Right. The temporary shelter at the South Shore Y, I know the testing was ongoing for the homeless clientele. Do you have any update on how that is?
That's gone very well. The amount of folks that have tested positive has been very minimal. We're thrilled about that. And I think that's due in part by us moving quickly and setting up that whole process to spread the population out so they're not on top of each other. So I think that was very, very helpful. So again, Paul Gorman and the people at the Y have been great, as have Cynthia Sierra at Command Health. They've been helping to kind of coordinate the health needs down there. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, John Yaswinski and his staff from Father Bill's, do this every day. So we're grateful for all the cooperation. So that seems to have worked. We had the Howard Johnson's Hotel for a period of time. I still think we have it, and we have some people in there, but that has worked out well to help us ease this burden as well. So it's it's kind of as you said, there's no playbook for this, so we're making calls and decisions every day moving forward. Things pop up and you deal with it. The nursing home one, you just feel so helpless with. It's just tough.
Yeah,
it's interesting, Joe, with this stuff. I've talked about it before, but you have the snow of 2015 was horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
But we know loss of life, and with snow, you plow it, you push it, you pick it up, you move it, you truck it, and at some point it's gone.
Right.
Whereas this is that invisible enemy has been talked about. It's so frustrating. You can't attack it. We're always on the defensive.
Yeah.
And so we just got to continue to follow the guidelines set forth and hope this thing goes away as quickly as it can.
Yeah, or a vaccine is developed, to at least have some kind of a weapon against it.
That's right. That's right.
The Quincy Relief Fund, Mayor, what is that all about, and what's the status of that?
Sure. The Quincy Relief Fund was a result of people asking me what they could do. A lot of people feel helpless in this. They, physically can't go out and do anything, and so we use the Quincy Foundation, which is the nonprofit that each year we have a golf tournament that we raise money for that goes to local charity and helps to fund the Christmas and Flag Day parade. So we already had the infrastructure, if you will, to do this type of a fund. So, the whole idea is to help backfill some of this food pantry need. We're looking at getting some gift certificates for people for supermarkets for those that are really struggling. If we're helping them get their rent paid, they still have little income coming in. And they need money to live. They need money for food. So we're looking at all those types of things. But the beauty of this foundation is there's no paid staff. It's going to go directly back to people in need, right back in our community. So we're grateful for all those individuals and companies that have donated to date.
Has it been determined how people will apply and how that'll be distributed yet?
We'll probably use some of the same agents that we're using now, because they're on the ground meeting these people and know the needs. So my guess is we'll continue to work with the food pantries across the city.
Yeah.
And QCAP is a food pantry, and they do the rental assistance. So they get a good handle on this stuff, And of course, Timmy and his gang at the chamber are learning people's situations because as they apply, they have to put down their income, what's in the bank, and all that sort of thing. And it's they get a good sense of the financial position these people are in and what their needs are. So we'll work directly with some of those folks to distribute this.
Sure. You mentioned Flag Day. Is it too soon to ask you whether or not a decision has been made about the parade this year?
It's not too soon to ask me, but I don't have a decision yet. Yeah. We have decided not to move forward with a Memorial Day parade. That will probably have some sort of an outdoor exercise at the cemetery without the parade. Okay. Keep it limited in scope. And it's a little soon, but I don't have a good feeling about it. I think it's going to be difficult to pull it off when people are when you go to the parade, people are sitting on top of each other, and then up at the fireworks, they're there's not, I can't guarantee that anyone is 2 feet from apart, never mind 6 feet. So,
right.
So I don't want to say yet if we get all of a sudden a good turnaround on the numbers, and maybe it's a go, but at this point, I think it's doubtful.
Yeah. I know already Cleaner Greener and the Senior Olympics are postponed. So,
correct.
Let's know about that. Mayor, appreciate your time. Anything else we'd like to add this morning?
I think we're going to try to do a video update at the end of the week. I've been doing these little 3-4 minute ones each day, but I think toward the end of the week, I'm probably going to do probably a 15-minute one to go over where we are as a city and how we're dealing with this. And, so we'll keep you posted on that piece. So we'll probably do it in the council chamber and carry it on QATV.
Oh, okay, great. Please let us know. I'm happy to help you with that, of course.
Sounds good.
All right. Enjoy your day, Mayor.
You too. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye now.